Hi, good morning. This is Mitch Starr, President and founder of ZinMarketing.com. Today I thought we'd do something a little bit interesting and basically talk about big picture strategy topics. So I've got three things you can do and three areas to improve in to really provide better results overall for your email marketing. If you focus in on these three areas, you will get a better result, no question. Here's what to do. First of all, these are the three things. Focus on growing your list. Focus on increasing your conversions, and focus on increasing the frequency of your sending. And I'll give you some specific tips on each of these areas. But what you'll find is if you double the size of your list, if you double the number of conversions that you get, and if you double the number of emails that you send out, all of a sudden, that's where the leverage comes from. It's 2 times 2 times 2 times better than you're currently getting. And that's really where the power of email marketing comes from. So let's just look at these in some detail. First of all, in order to grow your list, you really have to focus on that as a task. It has to be something that is on the top of your list. It's not an afterthought, it's one of your priorities. And you have to have some measurements. So you can look at something really simple like number of new subscribers per day and watch that number and try and get it to grow faster and faster and faster. And don't be afraid to invest in your list. If your business model is a real business model, then every person that you get interested that joins your list that becomes a subscriber is potentially a new lead and therefore potentially a new customer and therefore is worth money to you. So don't be afraid to invest in growing your list. Many people skip this part, but it's something where you can have a really big effect. And there are tons of areas to advertise and promote having people join your list. And make sure you're working on adding to your list everywhere. When you're in person doing networking, you're at events, you're at conferences, you're at the local Chamber of Commerce, make sure you're working on growing your list. Do it with all your social media stuff. Make sure that you have good motivations for people to join your list and publish that everywhere. Do it on your website, do it on every page, do it properly. We've talked about that quite a lot in the past. All of a sudden, that emphasis on growing your list is going to make a difference. Next thing, increase conversions. So the single biggest thing you can do to improve your conversions is basically start running split tests and split test everything. We've done blog posts and little training tips on split testing, but split test the subject line, split test the body copy, split test the offers, split test the length of the messages, split test the call to action buttons, texts, split test images, split test layout. Basically continue to split test and try and find the best possible combination of things that works for your audience. And every audience is a little bit different. Another area where you can really improve conversions is by focusing on copywriting skills. Learn how to write compelling emails. Learn how to write compelling subject lines. Learn how to write really good intros to your emails. Learn how to make them interesting and compelling. And copywriting is a skill and you can learn it. Make sure that you don't just send people to your homepage and let them try and figure it out where to go. Send them to an actual landing page where you are specific in what you want them to do when they get there, and you make it easy for them to do it when they get there. So if you want them to join a webinar, send them to the webinar sign-up page. If you want them to buy something, send them to the product buy page with a big buy now button on them. If you want them to read your blog post, just send them straight to the blog post. So send them to the landing page or the place where you want them to do it. And a final tip on conversions, and this will make a difference, just have one call to action per email. This is a really big tip, but I'm going to say it in one sentence, so it might not seem that way. But for example, if you send out a newsletter, send out the newsletter with only information in it on a Wednesday. The following Wednesday, send out a promotion that relates to the newsletter. So if you used to have a newsletter that had the promotion in it, split it, separate it into two parts. You'll find suddenly you'll get way more results on the promotion, and you'll get just as much interest in the newsletter. Nothing really changes except you sell more if that's your goal. Third thing is increase your frequency. I find this is one area that people are a little bit reluctant to do just because you have the fear that if you start sending more messages, people will not want to hear from you. But the exact opposite is true. If you have good things to say and valuable information, people want more of it. So first thing I would suggest, whatever you're sending, double it. And this is not targeted for those of you that have something going out every day because you're kind of probably at capacity. But most of you are sending something every month, every other month, sometimes every 2 or 3 weeks. If you're sending something every 2 weeks, send something every week and see what happens. If you're sending something every month, send something twice a month and see what happens. The next thing that you can do to improve your frequency is if you send a message on a Wednesday, the following Wednesday, resend the same message to the people that didn't open it the first time. Basically, they didn't see it. And you can change the subject line, you can change the message if you want, or you can just send it straight up exactly the way it is. All three of those things will work just fine. And you'll find about 30% to 50% of people will take action compared to what happened the last time. So if you're running a promotion, all of a sudden your promotions are going to be more effective by 30% lift just by sending this follow-on message 7 days later. That's all you have to do. A variation of that is to send reminders. If I send something on a Wednesday, send a reminder on a Friday. Send a final notice the following Thursday. Turn a single message into a 3-message series where the next 2 are reminders, and you tell people this is your second chance, this is your last chance. Use the word reminder in the subject line, but basically don't be afraid to say straight up, this is kind of important. You might have missed it, or you might not have had a chance to do anything with it. Here it is again for you. And of course, improving your frequency works. Instead of sending one long email with 6 different items in it, shorten that up into 3 emails with 2 items each. Make them short, simple, easy to digest. That's going to make your audience actually appreciate you more rather than less. So those are simple ways to improve your frequency. You just have to be willing to do it. You will discover if you watch your unsubscribe rates that they really won't change if you do these things. But you will discover that your results change. They will get better. So finally, what are the takeaways that you can take from today? Basically, take a look at the big picture. Look at this as an overall strategy where you want to improve your results, not by doing 1 or 2 little things, but improving results where there is leverage. Don't be afraid to try harder and to focus more on this area. Email marketing can be really, really big for your business. And a year from now, if your results are 10 times better than they are today, that can be a big difference for you. So don't let email be an afterthought. Let it be one of the primary channels that you work on and focus on. And that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the big strategy tip. And of course, if you go to ZinMarketing.com/help, you can find out how we behave as email marketing consultants. You can learn to do it yourself. We have a really great email marketing training program at nospamemailmarketing.com. We will talk to you next time.